The main event guys will be here in a few minutes. There were 10,300 people here tonight. The gate was just a little over $2 million. Fight of the night, Lawler Condit. And the performance bonuses go to Miocic, which I had to do or he would kill me probably, and McDonald. Who's got the first question?
Hey, Dana. I know you don't like to talk about fights after, but you know that Robbie Lawler said in the cage he was willing to do a rematch. You wanted a rematch. It was such a great fight. What do you think of a rematch on that one?
Well, you answered your own question. We don't make the fights tonight, but
I know you normally don't like to, but tonight you will.
Right. No, it was. The fight was awesome. I thought Carlos Condit, fought the fight of his life tonight. I don't know if you saw what I just tweeted, the percentages of significant strikes thrown. Carlos Condit threw 500 significant strikes tonight. It's crazy. And I had it 3-2, Condit. So, but I'm not a judge, so nobody probably gives a shit what I think. But that's how I had it. And much respect for Robbie. He needed to come out and do what he did in the 5th round. And one of the greatest rounds I think you will ever see in a fight. It was an amazing fight. Congrats to both guys, and we'll see. We'll see how this thing plays out and what happens.
And when you score a fight like that, I mean, you're looking, is it volume or is it power, or like in your mind, like what should they be looking at scoring?
When you score a fight?
Yeah, when you're scoring like a fight like that's so close.
I had here, in my opinion, I had Condit win in the 1st round. I had Lawler win in the 2nd round, and then it depends on how you scored that 3rd round, which Lawler was winning that round early and then kind of shut down and didn't do much the rest of the 3rd round. I gave Condit the 4th round, and I gave Lawler the 5th.
And I know we talked about this in July after, Robbie had the great fight. I mean, it seems like he's delivering these kind of performances on a regular.
He's our Evander Holyfield, man, right? It's just like he's never in a boring fight. He's always, when he gets hurt, he continues to go toe-to-toe. Robbie reminds me, he's like our Evander Holyfield, really is. And I respect so much when you're in a fight like this and you have to come out. You have to come out in that 5th round and do what Robbie did. And he did it, and great fight.
I guess my last question for you, or two questions. One, did the fight exceed even what you thought it might be? I know you talked about how much you thought it would be. Did it exceed your expectations?
Yeah, it was what I thought it was. I thought Carlos fought a great fight. Carlos stayed on the outside. He used his range very, very well. And then even when he got in close, he was great on the clinch. He came real close to some of those spinning elbows and fists to hitting Robbie with that stuff. But it was a great fight fought by both guys. It was awesome, man.
And then my last one, Stipe, do you feel like this now gives you the title shot against the winner of next month's show?
Yeah, I think so. Did it in good fashion. I would like that.
Okay.
Dana, I guess I know you won't come out and say that, hey, Lawler and Condit will do it again, but help us understand the thought process. I mean, it's one of the best fights we've ever seen. It's a fight that you thought the challenger actually won. Does that mean that you would lean towards doing it again? There doesn't seem to be another clear #1 contender right now as well. I mean, with all those things, what factors will we use to make the decision whether or not we'll run this back? Especially with Lawler saying he'd like to do it again.
Yeah, but Carlos was saying in the back that he might retire. This might be the last fight for Carlos. We'll see how this thing plays out. You can't make these kind of fights right after the fight. Lawler said yes, he would like to do it. I'm sure Condit would like to do it again if he doesn't decide to retire. And I respect both guys a lot. We'll see how this thing plays out. We'll see what happens. Plus, you got to understand, those two were just in a war. They were in a war, a 5-round absolute war. Let's see how they feel in a couple days. And guys get banged up, and we kind of pulled the trigger a little too soon on Lawler last time, trying to put him in Australia. And Lawler's coming off back-to-back wars. Back-to-back wars. So we'll see what happens.
Fortunately, Joe Rogan doesn't mind making fights on Fight Night. It seems like he granted Stipe a title fight.
Who the hell was going to say no to him? He was like a psycho. I wasn't going to say no. Are we on the same page now? We are on the same page.
All right, so he's waiting in line for the winner, no doubt about it.
Yes. Yes. We are on the same page, Stipe.
All right, fantastic. Thanks, guys. For Dustin, if I could, please, first of all, just talk about the fight. Incredible fight from both of you. Was it everything that you thought it would be, and how did you think about your performance was?
Yeah, I thought his boxing was going to be good, and it was. I knew he had a good ground game, a lot of submissions on his record. I executed the game plan me and my coaches had. I stayed in his face, put him against the fence, and grinded on him, got him tired, and that was the game plan.
I saw in your quotes that you gave to the PR team afterwards, it sounded like you were almost apologetic that you had to grind it out a little bit, that I guess your nose was it was tough for you to breathe. I mean...
Yeah, when I got off the stool for the second round, I couldn't breathe at all through my nose. I just got back from the hospital. It was broken in 2 spots, so... I just did what I had to do, took him down and took advantage of that.
What do you think makes sense next for you?
I think there's a lot of fights out there that make sense, man. My goal was to crack the top 10 last year. That didn't happen with the fight falling out. Hopefully I'll be up there now, and I want top 10 opponents.
And just can you tell me what was going through your mind as you were watching the main event and maybe seeing $50,000 slip away?
Oh, after that 5th round, I knew it was going.
Thanks. And just quickly, if I could, for Mr. McDonald, long time away. Man, it looked like maybe the cage rest got to you a little bit. Maybe timing was a little bit off. How did it feel in the early going, and did you struggle a little bit to get the timing?
Well, I was very, very surprised with his top game control. And every time I wanted to do something, my face was against the cage. He had great cage control. He did really, really good job at that. I was very impressed. I've grappled a lot of very, very high-level grapplers, and he definitely had the best pressure I've ever grappled with in my life. It was very surprising.
One of the slickest escapes to a finishing sequence that we've ever seen. I mean, is that something that you drill, something that you trained, or was it something you just kind of came up with on the fly?
I do a lot of weird stuff like that, like just making it up at the gym, and I don't really know. I mean, I probably have seen it somewhere, but honestly, when I fought Hin Brow, I was caught in an arm triangle, and looking back on that a bunch of times, I just wish that I would have just freaked out and just done anything I possibly can and just passed out instead of tapping, So I got total flashbacks as soon as that guy caught me in an arm triangle. So as soon as my air started to go away, dude, I was just like, I'm either passing out or I'm taking this guy's back. And I'm just going, and I ended up getting it.
And you're still a young guy, I mean, despite all the time that you missed. What do you think the future holds for you in 2016? How are your hands, number one, and what are you looking to accomplish? Are you looking to make up time?
Well, my hands are perfect, so that's awesome. My body's very healthy. But more important, I think right now my spirit and my mind are healthy as well, and that feels really good to just to love what I do, man, and to not have anything. When you try to do it and everything hurts and it gets to your mind. I think that's the biggest problem, But it just feels really good, man, to be healthy and to be able to enjoy it and just to love what I do. I like it.
Real quick one for you. You said that usually you don't even give your scores on a close fight like that. You like to kind of avoid that controversy. Saying 3-2 Condit, do you feel very strongly about it? Like almost it was an unjust result, or was it one of those situations where you can see both sides? It's a close fight. It's not really like controversy. Of course, robbery shows up on Twitter.
No. I think I said I think that Robbie did what Robbie needed to do in that 5th round. He needed to get to get that fire lit under his ass. He came out in that 5th round and made it. Both guys made it one of the greatest rounds you'll ever see anywhere in any fight. I mean, both guys were toe to toe blasting each other. Robbie did what he needed to do to win that fight.
So it's not like you're standing up there outraged at this decision.
Oh yeah, no, I'm outraged right now. Can you tell? Yeah, I am outraged.
And then Stipe, it sounds like you're getting a title shot. Do you have a preference on who you fight, who you feel like you match up with better? And then do you have a pick in that rematch between those two?
No, I mean, I have the best coaches in the world. They have the confidence in me. I have confidence in them. And whoever it is, it is. I don't care. I mean, I want my shot.
We know.
A few questions for Robbie, please. Robbie, congrats. I wanted to ask you, there's a really cool moment there at the end of the fight where you guys kind of collapsed at the same time on the cage. Were you aware of that? I mean, what's going through your head and how do you feel in that moment? I'm sorry. So sorry. My bad.
What happened?
I'll wait.
He doesn't have. Are you a translator, sir?
Yeah, you.
I'll wait for Rob. My
No,
bad.
you mentioned Robbie, you didn't say Albert, so. You,
Oh, you thought that was Robbie Lawler?
With the beanie, it threw me off. My bad.
You cover this sport? You thought that was Robbie Lawler?
I'm sorry.
I thought Robbie may be sitting on the other side. I can't see. So
Oh. That
if
is
you
awesome.
repeat the question, I'll translate.
He'll pass it on to Robbie for you.
Hopefully soon we'll be fighting him.
That is funny. That was a showstopper, huh? No more questions? Go ahead, Errol. George, yeah, I haven't heard. I haven't heard anything from him. I don't know. We'll see. That's why I say it's tough to talk about rematches the night of a fight. We don't know how all this is going to play out, so we'll see what's next. Well, you know, when we made this fight, he said, you know, if I win this, we'll see how this thing plays out. But I've contemplated retirement. Can we give him a mic, please, somebody? Morgan wanted to ask his second question. Hold on, we're going to bring you the.
I want to ask Dustin a question, actually two questions. It's rare to see a fighter who fought early in the night go to the hospital with a broken nose and then come back to the press conference. Did you ask to come back?
Yeah, actually, I had on here to tell you guys that Duffy and Poirier wouldn't be here. I was going to end up in another George St. Pierre situation where PR tells me they're not here and he thinks he wasn't allowed to come or something. So,
No, I was at the hospital. I got a text, and it was Dave Scholler, and he asked me to come to the presser. Told him I was at the hospital, but I was going to get back as soon as possible because I wanted to watch Robbie fight. And I made it right before Robbie started fighting, so I'm here.
And this was a big story and a big move by the UFC to put you guys on the Fight Pass portion of the card. And I know you're into this sort of thing and competitive. Did you get a word of how many people were watching? And maybe Dana could speak on this as well, because I know, especially overseas, there was a lot of interest in this particular fight.
You know, I have no clue, but hopefully we push some subscriptions, you know.
Dana, do you have any idea?
it broke the record.
Broke the record for
Yeah.
Fight Pass?
Yeah.
Like the most watched?
The most,
fight?
yeah. It's the most watched fight we've ever had on Fight Pass.
Wow, okay.
Question for Dustin Poirier. Dustin, in each of the rounds, you seem to have a very successful formula using strikes to set up a takedown, and then Duffy was vulnerable to the ground and pound on the ground. Did you realize after the first round that was going to be something you could go back to each round effectively, or is that just how it happened to play out?
You know, after the first round, I felt like there wasn't that good of takedown defense from him against the fence, obviously, and so I went right back to it in the second round. Same thing in the third. He wasn't really defending that well, so it wasn't a struggle to get him down. I didn't use a lot of energy.
And a question for Dana White about that Poirier-Duffy fight. Dana, obviously between putting these guys as the featured bout of the Fight Pass prelims, the fact that you're putting Anderson Silva and Michael Bisping on Fight Pass here very shortly, it looks like in 2016 there could really be a focus on doing some big things on Fight Pass. Is this a intentional strategy moving forward that Fight Pass is going to get a little more attention?
It was all an accident, man. It was all an accident. Of course, that's the strategy that we've had since we built Fight Pass. You know, it started with the library. You know, dipped our toe in, started to learn a little bit about the business and how it works, and now it's catching its stride.
So you would anticipate we're going to see more and more of this type of thing, marquee events on Fight Pass?
Yeah, well, you know, Duffy versus Poirier was supposed to be on Fight Pass in Ireland. So we made sure that we made them the main event, and it went off at a better time in Ireland for, Europeans to watch the fight, whether it's UK or wherever. And we were right.
Question for the champion, Robbie Lawler. Robbie, we find ourselves yet again in a situation talking about a fight of the night performance that you're involved in. And when we review the recent names between Carlos Condit tonight, Rory McDonald, and Johnny Hendricks, one thing that comes to my mind is big fifth rounds. When you lost that first fight to Hendricks, a lot of people felt like it was due to the fifth round. He wasn't finished. You finished McDonald. You won that fifth round tonight, I think, in most people's opinion. Is that something that after the first fight with Hendricks, that might have played with you mentally, that if you found yourself in the decisive fifth round again, you make sure you put your foot on the gas?
Yeah, I want to always put my foot on the gas. Condit's tough. Everyone I've been fighting for the last 2 years is tough. I mean, I'm just going out there trying to knock someone's head off and get a quick victory, but for some reason these guys won't stay down.
And lastly, for Stipe Miocic, Stipe, we already talked about you were very adamant about getting that title shot after the fight, and we've talked to you prior about the fact that you're an understated guy. Is this anything now? You're going to probably find yourself in the position of playing a role in marketing a heavyweight fight. I know you can't go be a different person, but have you made any kind of a decision that you want to try to be more outspoken? Was this?
I guess, I don't know. I think I'm a funny guy. I mean, my friends think I'm funny. I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm a fireman. I mean, I like fighting. It's fun.
And lastly, given the fact that you may very well find yourself preparing for a title fight here, still any plans are you still going to be a full-time fireman until further notice?
Yeah, I mean, I love being a fireman. Nothing's better. I love helping people, and ain't going to change.
Thanks, guys.
Just quickly, if I could, for Albert. First of all, I just want to get an update on the condition of his leg. It looked like he took a lot of damage, and if he could explain how he thought the fight was scored. It was very, very close, punches against leg kicks, if he thought he had done enough to win the fight.
Альберт, во-первых, хотели узнать насчет лоу-киков. Как нога сейчас, как самочувствие, и также как ты думаешь насчет решения. Как все ожидали, удар руками против удара ногами. Твое мнение?
Ну, нога сейчас не очень. Ну, все, что он сделал, это бил только лоу-кик, а я прессинговал его, бил руками. Я думаю, там не должно было быть раздельное решение. Это мое мнение. Я выиграл 3 раунда. Но мое уважение Лоренцу, он очень крутой боец. Я вызвал его не просто так. Я здесь, в UFC, чтобы драться с сильнейшими. Так что я готов драться и дальше.
I'm limping a little bit, a little sore, but that's okay. We are in the fight business. That's no problem. And we kind of expected something like this, kicks. And I was waiting for this. And it's okay, it will go away. But as far as decision goes, I think I got all 3 rounds, to be honest with you. He goes, all he did is just a low kick. But I kept pressing forward. I never backed up. He kept just throwing low kicks. But it didn't do really much. And at the same time, I have a lot of respect for him. I called him up before this fight for a reason. He's a tough, because I'm here to fight the best of the best, not just to be in UFC. I knew he was tough, so I called him out, and he is a tough fighter.
Thank you. For Brian, if I could, you said you wanted to take him into deep waters, but once again, you're down 2 rounds to none. What's the mindset? Is there ever any panic that sets in, and do you feel like you can continue fighting a UFC career like this, or do you need to make some adjustments?
No, we always have a game plan for everyone, and pretty much what I said happened. We said we're going to take him to deep waters. He's someone that gasses out, and I have a lot of gas in the tank, so in the 3rd round, that's when I felt that I had to turn it up and finish it. And even if you hear it in the 3rd round from Henry coaching me with James, he said that, hey, man, he goes, this is it. He's in deep water. Finish him. And we did.
Thanks, Brian. Now, if I could, for Carlos, obviously an incredible fight tonight. I'm sure you're disappointed to come up short, but give us an idea of what you thought. The final bell sounds. You've got a few minutes to walk around, soak it in, wait for the judge's decision. What's going through your head at that point? Do you feel like the belt's about to get wrapped around your waist?
I did. It was close though, and yeah, I didn't go my way tonight, but I left it all in there, fought my ass off. So I'm disappointed, but I'm proud of my performance.
Sometimes when guys are in positions like that, we see them dejected. It was interesting to watch your demeanor. You seem to keep your head up, kind of soak it in from the crowd and take it all in stride. Where do you think that comes from? I mean, that you could still be pretty positive in that situation.
I mean, win or lose, man, I'm out here living my dream. I get to fight for a living and compete against the top guys in the world. And I don't know. I dig what I do, and sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Unfortunately, tonight was not my night.
And just lastly, Carlos, Dana revealed that in the back you mentioned that maybe this might be it for you, that this could be the last time you fight. I imagine there's got to be a lot of emotion right now in that decision. I mean, is this something you contemplated at all coming into the fight? And do you feel like this is something you feel strongly about, or are you still processing all those emotions at this moment?
It's not really an emotional thing, I'm not dejected. I don't know. I have to evaluate, but yeah, there's a possibility that might be my last one. We'll see.
Dana, John Jones is here tonight. Did you get a chance to, right here in the middle, did you get a chance to talk to him in the back? And should we see an announcement about John Jones anytime in the near future?
I didn't talk to John. I mean, I saw John out there. He was back warming up Arlovsky and then came out and was out there for Carlos's fight, but we didn't talk.
Okay. So no announcements coming soon on John?
No, sir.
Okay.
Not tonight.
Yeah, okay. Robbie, each of the judges gave you round 2 and round 5, and Carlos round 1 and round 4, with round 3 being the decisive round. And a lot of people are debating kind of which way that round went. Did you go into round 5? It looked like you definitely had a fire in you in round 5. Were you going out there? Did you think you had to finish that fight to win, or did you think, hey, win the round and I win the fight?
No, I wasn't really thinking that. I just always want to try to finish my opponent and put the pedal down and go out there and try to finish. And Carlos is so tough. I feel like I hit him with some big shots, and he kept coming and throwing knees. He's tough. It's just a testament to the kind of fighter he is. He showcased who he is, and he's everything everyone said he was.
Awesome. In the cage, you said that you'd be happy to rematch Carlos again, but we have Tyron Woodley on the Fox Sports broadcast definitely saying no rematch. If you had your way, would you like to see a fight against Tyron Woodley?
He's not
next?
biased at all.
Yeah, no bias there.
No bias.
Yeah, I don't really play those games. We'll talk to Dana and figure things out, and you guys can play those games.
Carlos, if you could just expand a little bit, what's going into your decision that, why are you thinking about retiring when you seem to be at the peak of your game and, you're one of the elite fighters in the world? What would make you want to walk away at this point?
I've been at this for a long time, over 40 professional MMA fights, MMA, kickboxing. I don't know. I came up short tonight, and I don't know. Tonight was kind of like a do or die moment for my career, I feel like, and I was all in, and if I got that strap, I was gonna keep fighting. If I didn't, like I didn't, I have to see if I can continue to do this.
Do you feel your fight against GSP, you weren't happy with the way, even though George was very gracious towards you, but, I know you weren't happy with the way you fought. I mean, do you feel like this was a different situation here where, you're fighting another great champion and it's a flip of a coin at the end?
Mm-hmm. I think this fight was closer. I'm proud of the way I fought. A guy like Robbie, stylistically, is better. We went out there, we threw down. It wasn't him laying on top of me. It was us, out there throwing some heat, trying to put each other down. It was a different fight, and he pushed me. I had to fight my ass off instead of that technical, kind of ground and pound, somewhat arguably boring kind of fight that was my first title shot, or second, I guess.
And Robbie, if I could ask you one question. Most people going into the fight might have said you had an edge in punching power, but it seemed like Carlos hurt you a number of times. I think knocked you down, if I'm not mistaken, in the first round. Can you just comment on sort of, his punching power and how much he was actually hurting you?
Yeah, Carlos is tough. I mean, he can do it all. He can knee kick you, and he lands solid shots. And I was a little off balance, but that was still a solid shot he hit me with, and I definitely went down. But I was fine, and I hopped back up and tried not to take any damage getting up. But he can do it all. He can finish you on your feet or on the ground. So I have to respect that.
For both of you guys, the third round was the key round. What do you guys remember from the third round? Why do you think you won it?
I don't remember. I was just trying to go second by second, trying to figure out how to get the job done, try to get the knockout. I'll have to go back and watch.
I like he said, I got to go back and watch. And I had my moments, and he had his moments. I don't know.
Robbie, what did he do to present so much difficulty for you up into the fifth round?
His movement was awesome. He's clever. He's sharp, and he can take a shot. I mean, those guys put together a great game plan. He's in shape. He's a champion. He's a guy who's been doing this a long time. So Carlos was everything they said he was, and I had to dig deep, and hats off to him.
You fought so routinely, but going through all these wars, do you want significant time off to let your body heal and rest now?
I'm not going to make that decision today. I'm going to see how I feel tomorrow, and I'll talk to Dana, and we'll figure things out.
Thank you.
I'll try this again. First for Robbie. At the end of the fight, there was this moment when you and Carlos kind of collapsed at the exact same time on the cage and just were exhausted and gasping for breath. Do you remember that? And what's going through your mind in a moment like that?
I'm thinking, man, he's tough. I mean, I gave it my all. He gave it his all, and we were spent. I mean, both tough as hell, going out there trying to finish, trying to put on a show. And that's just two competitors with a lot of heart, a lot of skill, just trying to get the job done and get a victory.
Were you cognizant of that he was right next to you and you guys are kind of in the same
Yeah, I
position?
saw him. I mean, that's what I do out there. I fight and try to figure out what's going on. And, yeah, he was right there, hands on the octagon, just taking it all in. That was a battle.
Carlos, what do you remember from that moment? What was going through your head right after the fight?
I don't really recall. I think I was a little bit oxygen deprived. Got my head punched a couple of times, so I don't know. I don't remember.
And just lastly for Robbie, obviously you've talked about the third round already, and there's a lot of debate and the scoring and everything. Does that bug you at all after going through such a great performance to have to kind of defend your win?
No, I'm not trying to defend anything. I laid it all out there. I did all I could to win, and I got the victory. And it's all about getting better and moving forward and pressing to become a better champion than I am today. And that's what I'm going to continue to do and just be me.
Okay, here, Robbie. What happened on the fifth round? Seems like you came more aggressive. It was different than the other 4 rounds. What happened in your corner?
Man, he was clever. I mean, I wanted to firefight, and I just had to come forward, and I wanted to get a stoppage. My coaches always say, let's not leave it up to the judges. So I just said I'm going to move forward and try to stop him, and should have done it a little earlier, but he's crafty. I mean, can't be stupid out there.
Hey, Carlos, did your plan went as you planned? Did it went something wrong in your plan today?
I think part of the plan went well. I think my distancing was good. I was able to make him miss a lot of his big shots, and I was able to catch some of mine. There was, like I said earlier, he had his moments where he was able to get in the range that he's super dangerous at, in that boxing range, and throw those devastating hooks. And I got caught in the second, and then in that last flurry in the fifth. you know, he was where he wanted to be, and that's, you know, the game plan was to, you know, use my range and distancing to dictate the fight and where it was going to go, and yeah, so some of it went well, some, you know, is according to plan, and some not so much.
You were countering so well at the beginning of that 5th round. What happened the last 2 minutes? Can you take us through that? I mean, it was very tough.
From what I remember, I think I got caught up against the cage, and you know, it was that 5th round. We had been going at a pretty high pace, and you know, I guess my movement and my angles, you know, weren't what they needed to be as far as staying at my range, like I said, and yeah, I don't know.
Thanks. Congratulations.
Yeah.
It was a great fight, guys. Brian, it seems like you are able to figure out fights very well. Can you take us through your fight, your thoughts?
Well, it's pretty much something that we come up with my coaches. And, I mean, we watch a lot of video and a lot of tape, and pretty much so far we've been doing a good job at picking these guys apart and then finding out when they will be weak, and so far we have been correct.